What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another matchup from the Premier League 4. And this is going to be a matchup between Dignitas and Virtus.Pro. Dignitas took the first game. I think it was pretty one-sided. Virtus.Pro looking to tie up the series 1-1 and perhaps go to a game 3, but this should be an interesting matchup. Virtus.Pro, as you all know, just won the defense 3, and I heard most of those games were one-sided, so probably won't cast any of them besides. You can check out the VODs on Join Dota's YouTube channel if you want. Meanwhile, Dignitas, they got rid of Tides of Time, or Tides of Time retired, and they replaced him with Sneyking, who has been staying in for them quite a bit, and they are looking very, very strong. I don't know if they've actually lost any officials ever since they reintroduced Sneyking. And Fogged has switched to a support role, so it's quite interesting to me, at the very least, to see Fogged play a support role after being mid lane for so long. But Sneyking definitely has a lot of individual talent, and they won the Ritmix Dota 2 League over Virtus.Pro in the Grand Finals just a couple days ago, so shouts to Dignitas. But meanwhile, Virtus.Pro, they're always up and down. They're looking very sharp. ars-art played phenomenally in the Defense 3, so it looks like Dendy's standing in. So I guess who is missing? KSI. KSI is not playing in this game today, so that's going to be a bit unfortunate, but I'm sure Dendy, being a very, very phenomenal player, should be handling the occasion quite nicely. I don't know what role Dendy will play in this game. Will he play mid or will he play off lane, which KSI has transitioned into now that ars-art has officially joined the team. But Dignitas banning out Standard Heroes, Nyx Keeper of the Light, meanwhile Virtus.Pro banning out Darkseer as well, or Virtus.Pro banning out the Wisp as well as the Lone Druid. Virtus.Pro picking up Darkseer as well as an Ace Prophet. Really mid-game oriented pick, so I so far like Dignitas' lineup. They have a good carry that does a lot of damage in the early game with the Rocket Barrage. He's quite squishy, which is why the Chinese don't pick him. But fun statistic, Asian scene Gyrocopter is actually quite successful. Maybe not in the Chinese scene, but in the Asian scene in general. He is pretty successful. Batrider, very versatile hero, perhaps the best initiator in the game. Xiao Shaman, pretty strong hero, has a lot of sales on lockdown, but Virtus.Pro picking up, in my opinion, the best carry to counteract the Xiao Shaman in the form of Lifestealer. Sure, you can ward trap him, sure you can lasso him, but still, there's very few carries in the game that can get up close and personal in your face like Lifestealer can. But it's going to be interesting because where is the setup for the Lifestealer going to come from? Darkseer wants to get level 10 or 11, so he has a max points of vacuum, get a point to wall. Nature's Prophet wants to get that fast Midas going and start actually being a contributing force in these engagements. And me on Dignitas, I like their lineup so far as a nice mix of early game with some late game insurance in the form of Gyrocopter. And if Xiao Shan does save his wards for the Nyx, Lifestealer will have to spend a couple of his rage points just breaking through the ward trap, so that could be an issue for Virtus.Pro. So far I am liking Dignitas' lineup and Dignitas making smart bans, banning out supports, recognizing the fact that Virtus.Pro, they have no supports in the lineup at the moment. And also how will Virtus.Pro lane this? Darkseer most likely will be off lane, so it might be a Nature's Prophet middle or a Nature's Prophet jungle. I think it might have to be a Nature's Prophet middle. So that's going to be interesting to see because Nature's Prophet, not really the best rune control, can harass pretty well with the treants, but if he's matched up against Batrider should have the significant advantage. Even with the little armor on Batrider, he should be able to just bully Nature's Prophet out of the lane. Meanwhile, Virtus.Pro banning out mid solo, so right now they're anticipating that Batrider could potentially go in the off lane, which is a reasonable assumption, but Batrider is so versatile, and this is why he is pretty imbalanced. I'm not going to front it, you know, my opinions on Batrider. He's my favorite hero in the game by far. He's just so much fun for me to play. I never get bored of him. And, but he is imbalanced. He's a ridiculously good initiator, best laner, gets fast dagger. What more can you want from a really, really powerful initiator? Not too much more. But still, Nature's Prophet won't be able to bully Batrider off the lane too successfully in my opinion. Dignitas could potentially go Gyrocopter mid, Batrider off lane like I previously mentioned, since the off lane heroes for the most part, or for the mid lane heroes for the most part, were removed from the equation by Virtus.Pro. But I guess we'll find out very shortly what Dignitas are going to do with the bat. Is it going to be jungle off lane bat? Is it going to be a mid solo bat? Is it going to be a safe lane gyro? Is it going to be a mid lane gyro? It probably will be a safe lane gyro because since Fog is switching back to support, I don't know if Snaking's ever played mid-solo Gyrocopter for Dignitas, because that was usually Fog's department when AOI was not playing it. So I think this will be a safe lane farming Gyrocopter, backed up by a Xiao Shaman support. But Xiao Shaman is also one of those heroes who can potentially go in the mid lane himself if worse comes to worse, and I don't think he does that bad against Nature's Prophet. He does get harassed a bit, and he has lower base move speed, but he has a better nuke. And if Nature's Prophet bans the lane, Shadow Shaman could potentially push the tower. So Dignitas' lineup so far is very versatile, and I'm really liking it. Meanwhile, Virtus.Pro, they don't have much early game. They have a lot of mid game setup. They have a lot of mid game team fight in the form of Darkseer by himself. Nature's Prophet split push, Lifestealer, and his just overall damage output is quite tremendous. But how Virtus.Pro get to the mid game? That is my main concern here.
10 seconds remaining.
Weaver.
Dignitas going to pick up a Weaver, so it's going to be sort of a counter to Lifestealer. This is usually the preferred matchup for North American teams whenever they see a Lifestealer on the board. They like to think of what role Weaver can have, and Weaver is pretty versatile in this lineup because he can potentially go in the off lane, or even in the mid lane himself, because Virtus.Pro, fortunately for Dignitas, ban out all the other strong mid lane heroes themselves, so Nature's Prophet does do pretty well against Weaver because he has long range and a bit better animation as Treants to harass, but Weaver does have complete rune control over the Nature's Prophet if Weaver does decide to go mid. But more likely this will be an offlane Weaver because that is more preferred, and I think we're going to see a mid lane Batrider rather than an offlane Batrider in this situation. Because how can Lifestealer actually kill a Weaver in the offlane? He can't. It just can't do it. And right now Virtus.Pro, they have no stuns. So I'm not too sure about Virtus.Pro's drafts thus far, guys. It's just looking very questionable. I like the Lion choice a lot, gives him some lockdown, but Lion is a hero that I feel like needs experience as well. He needs that max level Voodoo. Finger of Death is not really the best level 1 nuke. It does a lot of damage, but it has a 160-second cooldown. It's so ridiculously long. And yeah, not much more I can say after that. Lion's Finger, just too long. Too good. Too good. Alright. Anyway, Lion as support, pretty powerful, can actually do stuff against Weaver, but again, without the damage output coming in, Weaver should be okay for the most part if he is in the off lane. And Batrider against Lion can just harass Lion out of the lane. Lifestealer can't really go in too aggressively without too many points in rage. And Dignitas going to pick up Clockwork. Wow, so Dignitas could potentially put 3 different heroes in the off lane. They all will be definitely capable. But right now, this will be a jungle Batrider most definitely. It's going to be support Shadow Shaman. And I guess it'll be Weaver mid and Clockwork off, or Clockwork mid and Weaver off. As Lifestealer and Lion can't do too much against Clock when he has the cogs online, and Weaver can just Shikuchi away. So, yeah, Dignitas' lineup really hard to kill in the laning phase, has a lot of early game DPS, and has some disables, and they have a Batrider who's going to be in the jungle who can get a fast dagger. So I wonder what Virtus.Pro can pick up here that can really help bridge the gap from the early to mid game where their lineup does start to get some steam rolling. I think they might want to focus a bit more on their team fight because right now, who do they have that synergizes well with the Darkseer? Not too much. So just waiting for Virtus.Pro to pick up their last hero. But so far Virtus.Pro's lanes seem pretty standard, Darkseer off lane most likely. Unless they do Darkseer mid and Nature's Prophet off lane, who will just switch to jungle. That could be a potential possibility as well. But the last pick for Virtus.Pro most likely will be a support, unless they put Nature's Prophet in the jungle right from the start, put Darkseer in the off lane, and put another hero mid. And that could be a possibility considering Virtus.Pro did ban out 3 strong mid laners. But they're going to have to face a Clockwork or a Weaver, or a Bat potentially. So, I don't know, Virtus.Pro, their lineup is not looking that powerful, but they did beat, I think the last time they played Dignitas was in the winners finals of the Defense 3, which is probably like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And they're going to pick up Pugna. Wow. I love Pugna, but does he do anything in this lineup? His ward will do a lot of work in Xiao Shan. Xiao Shan cannot cast 20 spells. Gyrocopter. His spells are quite expensive. Even Batrider gets zapped quite a bit because he spams so much, and Firefly and Lasso do have a significant mana cost. And yeah, it's sort of a bit of awkward synergy with the Nature's Prophet, who relies pretty much only on physical DPS, as well as the Lifestealer, who relies only on physical DPS. But it does give them a bit more teamfight control. If they manage to protect the ward and have Darkseer sort of initiate in the front, they should be okay. But yeah, this is just really an awkward lineup by Virtus.Pro. I love me some Pugna, and it's going to be Tamoil playing the Pugna, so it's going to be most likely a mid-solo Pugna, and Dendy will probably be playing the offlane. And yeah, we are going to see NS play the Nature's Prophet, so it's just going to be a jungle Nature's Prophet right off the back. This will get Nature's Prophet some farm, but the offlaner that Virtus or Dignitas decides to put into play should be able to just handle himself very, very admirably. So we'll just switch back to free camera. So first pause of the game goes. I need to fix my hotkeys as usual, but we'll just take this time to use the players and the teams. On the side of Dignitas, we have Way Too Sexy playing the Shadow Shaman. We're gonna have Fogged playing the Clockwork, Universe is playing the Weaver, AUI 2000 is playing the Gyrocopter, and Sneyking is playing the Batrider. Meanwhile, on the side of Virtus.Pro, we're gonna have NS playing the Lion. Smile has switched to Nature Swap, so just a bit of swapping, but Smile is playing support in Virtus.Pro. Smile, of course, is ars-art. He's got the nickname Smile because whenever they play him in Dota 1, he just put a little smiley face. I think that's a pretty cool story. ars-art has always been one of my favorite players in the scene. I have too many favorite players, guys. Tameloud's playing the Pugna, Dendy is going to be standing in playing the Darkseer, and Illidan, aka Airman, is playing the Lifestealer. So Fogged is playing the Clockwork, so this will be a support Clockwork. He has some Sentry Wards, and it's going to be a mid-solo Batrider being handled by Sneyking, saving for the fast ball, and I like this mid-lane matchup quite a bit. If it is in fact Tameloud playing the Pugna, which he is, Batrider should have a decent time. There's really not too much Pugna can do once Batrider hits a certain point, but if Pugna manages to rush some fast boots, and Pugna's one of those heroes who has a pretty good attack damage, and he has high innate base movement speed. I mean, look at it. He already has 30 base movement speed above the Batrider.
30 seconds to battle.
So if Tameloud gets himself a fast pair of boots as well as a point to Decrepify, he should theoretically never die to the Batrider unless the Batrider gets a really strong flame break. So Pugna should have a slight edge in this lane, but of course he can't really kill the Batrider under any circumstances. Batrider's just too damn tanky, and every time, keep in mind Pugna's spells, in order to do the maximum amount of damage, you have to get up close in your face, because Nether Blast has an abysmal casting range.
The battle begins.
And Fog looks like he's going to give the Sentry Wards to Universe, going to de-ward any Sentry Wards that is in play on the top lane. And it seems like Virtus.Pro did not predict that it would be Weaver top lane. Maybe it would be a Batrider or a Clock. But Fog just going to do some cog blocks as he is going to pull the Creepy Equilibrium back towards Universe's tower. Weaver is an item dependent hero. He likes to get his items on. He just becomes much more effective, but he can function reasonably well without items in the early stages of the game. But in the mid game, if you want him to sort of carry, then he really needs the items. But they have AOI to function in that capacity. But you can see the cogs just putting in a lot of work, and Fogged, knowing that there's going to be a nature swap in the jungle all the time, not too afraid in terms of getting experience, and Universe is definitely going to appreciate the backup as Fog needs some levels, and support Clockwork in a tri-lane won't really be getting that. Universe, he needs levels, but at least at this point, I mean, look, Illidan's already taking mana burn damage, he's going to take a bit of harassment, and Fog's just running in there with a bit of harassment right now as cogs are on cooldown, so we might have to be a bit careful as the pause might come out from Blaze in a second. Well, Fog is going to get stunned, but where is the damage going to come from? I'm not too sure, as Blaze says there's a bit of an issue at the moment, technical issue. But meanwhile, Tameloud versus Sneyking already being pummeled in terms of physical harassment. Tameloud gonna have to back off. He does not yet have the boots of speed, and Sneyking gonna have his ball. So Sneyking just throwing on a lot of harassment at the moment. But yeah, Lion, because he's such an experienced defense support, wants to be pulling. Can't really provide too much backup. So Lifestealer, in opposed to other situations, or God, let me think. In most situations with a safe lane Lifestealer, you might get phase drums that are on 10 minutes. In this situation, it's going to be highly unlikely, as Universe is going to take might take a lot of damage. He's going to take an Impale right to the face, as that low Shikuchi does have a long cooldown, but NS going to take a Gemini attack. Fog trying to get in position. Clockwork does have high base movement speed, but the cogs just a little bit too out of place. Fog was forced to cast it right there, because if he missed, then you would have been in tower range for a lot longer, and as it was, he took a little bit of pot shots from the tower.
Invisibility.
But Pugna just going to pick up his invisibility rune, and actually Tameloud not doing that badly. 8-0, and he didn't go for fastball, instead got for magic stick, and looks like he wasn't actually pulled too much. Let's see, 185, 200. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he was pulled anything. So Tameloud functioning quite well, and it's going to get better for Pugna once he gets a bottle or boots of speed. And you can see he's using his mana generously, so he might be forced to go for the bottle. If Sneyking picks up a fast boost of speed, he could really punish the Pugna. But right now, because Sneyking went for the fast bottle build, he should be getting a bit more lane control, but Tameloud, noticing that bottle is not a factor anymore, just going to town and just using that magic stick to its fullest. So Sneyking getting pushed out of the experience range, or not out of experience range, but out of last hit range. So nicely played by Time Wild thus far. Meanwhile, Darkseer forced to rotate into the jungle, not able to withstand the harassment because Shadow Shaman with 2 disables, potentially with the Gyrocopter Rocket Barrage, means that Darkseer, even in dual lane, won't be able to get too much accomplished. He might have been able to get some experience. You can see he's level 3, and he was able to sap some, but Darkseer is an item-dependent hero. He needs levels. He wants to get that fast mechanism going for his team, because most likely Nature's Prophet, yeah, he is going to go for the Midas. So in order for VP to start accelerating their mid-game team fights, they really need to have that fast mechanism up online ASAP. As Fog just going to spy out NS, a bit of harassment thrown out as Sneyking going to initiate on Tamalot, 3 stacks as Nether Blast going to be enough to ward Sneyking away. Sneyking trying to get in position and get the next rune. Will he be so lucky to get it on the top lane? No, it spawns on the bottom lane, and it will be denied most likely by the Xiao Shan, but that means Sneyking got to Ball Crow yet again, and Tamalot does have a salve. So Tamalot with the boot speed, nice item purchase. Really not expending as much mana as I expected. Sneyking might just have to kill the rune. Tamalot's gonna get it, and that's gonna be a couple more Pugnas. Sneyking was waiting for his bottle, but unfortunately, Pugna with the ridiculously high move speed, 370 with the boots of speed compared to Sneyking's 290. It's just not even fair. That's a boots of travel difference, and now he has his boots of speed, but still. 30 move speed difference means that Pugna should be able to escape from most situations. He has pointed to Crep if things get truly hairy. But keep in mind, you should only cast it to Crep if you're being threatened only after like the second or third napalm. It's not too effective after the first, as I missed the first blood. But thanks to this handy 10-second replay timer, we can see exactly how it happened. Illidan gonna take a lot of damage. He's very low to his HP, and he's gonna die. And really nice engagement by Dignitas, recognizing the fact that there's a jungler and there's an offlaner who can't do too much, and NS being an experience-dependent support really wants to get that experience rolling, so just constant harassment. Weaver with the Gemma attack was able to do so much work. Meanwhile, I'm missing the second blood. Dang. My observing skills. I want to talk about that a bit more, but we're going to see Shaco go on to Dendi. Call down Rocket Barrage, just going to clean Dendi up, and Dendi saying, why am I standing in for you guys? All I'm doing is dying. And Virtus.Pro was like, yo, we just won defense 3. We ain't gonna take that smack from you. But yeah, so far Dignitas, I did predict that they would win the lanes, but Virtus.Pro, their map is purely for the mid game, as Pugna could potentially go for a mech, as he's going to go for a dive on Sneyking. Sneyking trying to escape. One more auto attack will not be enough. Timod's going to have to run the heck out of there, but he is going to have his bottle online. Meanwhile, there's going to be rotation by Way Too Sexy, almost level 5 on the Xiao Shan compared to level 4 on the Lion, so right now Xiao Shan able to get more experience, he's able to get more pulls going because there was nobody in the off lane, so he was able to get some double stack pulls. Didn't really have to worry too much about the creep equilibrium. And Dendi only level 4 at this point, not even the best time. You know, Tamalot took 2 stacks and just backed out. Sneyking gonna get hexed up. Here comes the Impale. Smile is in position. Firefly, how many seconds left? You can't sprout because you can just burn through the trees, and Firefly being an 18-second duration now instead of a 15-second duration from the last patch is just gonna be able to scurry on out of there. But Illidan just being pressured relentlessly. You can see his farm is being heavily outshined by AUI, as we're going to see a gank on the top lane. We're going to see Pugna rotating with the haste rune. Fog just going to cog out, and Pugna does not want to take too much cog damage. He is very mana intensive, and Tamalot forced to retreat. Going to take a rocket as one last parting shot, as Dignitas is going to avoid that gank nicely. Means Sneyking can take this time to farm up. Going to have his bottle, and he's going to have that fast dagger up in about 1.1k gold. With the help of that tower kill, this is going to be a very, very fast dagger. Usually mid lane barriers don't get as fast a dagger as, say, a jungle barrier, just because they have to get for bottle and maybe even a magic wand. But Sneyking, not getting magic wand, not going tranquils, just choosing to get that fast bottle and nothing else, and the boots of speed, of course. But gonna have the dagger at a pretty fast time at this rate. Might be able to get it around the 9 to 10 minute mark, which is insanely fast. Jungle barriers can usually only get it around 8-minute mark if they just rush the dagger after boots. You know, Illidan's going to take a lot of rest, and Universe buying something for the shop, but here comes Fog. The cogs are just a little bit out of position, but the open wounds have already been used. Universe might be able to dive this. No, gonna avoid that. Swarm doing a lot of damage to Illidan, and you can see this top lane by Virtus.Pro not working out. Virtus.Pro, for the most part, it seems like they've lost every lane. Maybe not the mid lane so much as it was a wash, but Fog is going to get hexed up, but here comes Universe. A nice double impale. They're going to catch out Fogged, but the Ion Shell coming in from dead Universe will be able to secure a kill. Meanwhile, Sneyking is going to rotate in. Saw the teleport, but Smile going to lasso NS, and this is just going to be a complete massacre in favor of Dignitas. Here comes Shadow Shaman, going to hex up Dendi as well as shackle him. Surge by Dendi. It's way too sexy. He was not able to get the block going, but we might get some stacks by Sneyking. One stack, and AUI is going to dive this AUI to actually rotate in. The vacuum with level 1 vacuum is just so abysmal in terms of AUE, as Pugna does manage to secure a kill as he finally decides to join the party. He is going to pick out the retreating way too sexy. Illidan does manage to kill off the gyrocopter, so it wasn't a complete wipe, but who got the ultra kill? It was a Weaver. That was such a good exchange for Dignitas. It might not be nearly as good if Sneyking loses the dagger money. Sneyking just flying away. Time out. Clearly not to intend on pursuing the issue. Wants to get the rune instead. Regen rune. Very much worth it. But even though AY did die, I think overall that was in fair Dignitas because they're just keeping Lifestealer down. Lifestealer in the later stages of the game will get kited by Weaver all day and all night, and Lifestealer gonna initiate onto Fog. Universe is in the picture. Smile taking a lot of damage. Fog just so tanky. Support Clockwork's just a ridiculously beast of a tank, and no face suits up on Illidan. Went for the treads to give himself a bit more HP as a nice hook in by Fogged, and Universe is on the assault. Flatcan coming in from AUI, and Illidan will get cleaned up yet again. And these lanes are not working out for Virtus.Pro. Dendi, what are you doing, my friend? You just have to get the heck out of there. Dendi surging his way as if his life's depending on it, because quite frankly it does. Meanwhile, Sneyking gonna pop the Firefly. The Flame Breaker is just a bit off the mark, but he's gonna take another blast as well as a life drain for his trouble, but Barretter able to escape. So Virtus.Pro, the laning phase is really just going abysmally for them. Their hard carry, which went for a late game item build, he didn't go for a mid game item build, which is the phase drums, going for the treads into armament most likely, but he's being shut down completely. AUI only died once, but you can see he was able to free farm it up on that bottom lane. He was not contested whatsoever. Barretter gets his dagger, and then suicides to neutral, says mistakes were made. I guess we can see what happened to Sneyking in that situation.
Middle tower is under attack.
Oh, he dies to level 1 camp. Nicely done, Sneyking. Nicely done. I was like, he suicided neutral to get back to base faster, but then I realized, oh wait, he's actually level 8, so it's not actually faster, and you might lose a bit of gold, but at least he managed to pick up his dagger, so all is not lost by Sneyking, but still a mistake nonetheless. You know, way too sexy, taking his time to farm up, get some experience. Shadow Shaman wants to finish his magic one, may get a bracer if he's feeling so bold as Smile. Just teleporting out of there. Universe trying to get Shikuchi and one more auto attack, but that's a little bit of the annoying thing about Shikuchi. You can't instantly break it. I guess if he could, it might be a bit overpowered in terms of it doing a lot of damage, but there are also situations where you don't want to break it, as Sneyking spies Dendi. He has the Firefly vision, gonna get one stack, and a lasso Dendi banging out the surge. Nicely played by Sneyking thus far. Universe is gonna rotate in as the ward has been dropped by the Pugna, so that means Universe is going to be out of mana. We're going to see NS rotate in. Universe completely out of mana. He's going to die right now if they manage to get him on the pursuit. Universe, they're not going to chase him down because guess who's in the picture? It is Fogged as well as Sneyking. Finger Death does clean up Fogged as Meal NS will get picked off by Sneyking. AY is forced to retreat. Surge ahead on Timo if he manages to get one more decrypt, but the call down nicely placed. AUI does end up dying as a nice engagement by Virtus.Pro in that situation. Lost 2 for 1. They picked up the gyrocopter as well as Fogged. And all they lost was Lion, who burned his finger of death, so that's not even the biggest loss in the world. And that was just a bit of over-aggressiveness by Dignitas. They saw the ward, and they decided to fight it. I mean, they saw Darkseid move in, but unfortunately they didn't have any vision on this area of the map, where we saw the rotations by the Lion as well as the Pugna. As Temo now level 11. I don't think he had the max level ward in that last battle, as he just hit level 11, I imagine. So now that ward's going to zap, do a lot of damage, and you're going to have to spend a couple auto attacks just to break that. But AY will probably just turn on flat can, hit the ward, and then splash all his damage to everything, because that's what Gyrocopter can do. He's kind of a bitch. But so far, Dignitas not looking in too bad of shape, even though they just threw away a bit of their lead. They're still securely ahead. You can see Experience Graph actually starting to favor the Dire because Midas is online, but Nature's Prophet, it's going to be such a long time before he has a noticeable impact. And the Leicester is just so far behind in terms of farm. What does he have shipped towards him? Not too sure just yet. Might be a... Yep, it is going to be a Helmet of Iron Will. As the wards are going to be picked off, they're going to defend the mid lane for now, but at what cost? No cost thus far, just the cost of a couple teleports. But where is Sneyking? Just burning down the trees, trying to push out the bottom lane. Tried to use the lasso to... No, lasso's still cooling down 90 seconds on level 1, so he used it to try to kill off NS, but NS was able to escape and able to get the hexes going, so Sneyking thwarting that endeavor, and that means lasso's cooling down for quite a bit, so no form of initiation on the side of Virtus.Pro, but they're actually going to back off defending the middle tower. Not too sure why they're doing this. They want to get a bottom tower with the help of Smile, but I don't know if this is such a good idea in exchange for completely abandoning your mid lane and your top lane's being pressured by Universe. All the while, I'm not too sure about this decision by Virtus.Pro. I guess they figure if we don't get a tower, we can't really push a tower at this stage with unless we have all 5 people, or at least Pugna as well as Nature's Prophet, and without Pugna and Nature's Prophet at the defense, we can't do too much. But they are going to clean up the tower. This is going to be good for Leicester as he really needs to get back into the game. His armlet's already heavy delayed. And Pugna will pick up the last hit, but they're going to lose potentially 2 towers. The glyph has already expired on the bottom lane, and Pugna is quite a strong pusher. The blast does go through the tower armor and does do a significant portion of the damage, but they are going to indeed sacrifice the top tower. And I think Dignitas can get back in position to defend this bottom tower. They will be fighting under the ward, and Sneyking already used his Firefly, but Lasso is just back up. The question is if Dignitas want to defend this. Are they willing to go for the trade? The Flame Break just destroying all the treants, but you can see the Nether Blast going to work. They have the mechanism online. They're going to try to keep the push going. And actually Dignitas is going to smoke up, or AUI actually going to pop the Shadow Blade. No, they're just going to go for a trade, trying to put pressure on the middle tower, saying, Sneyking, you are enough to defend this, and unfortunately Sneyking is not. But that is 2 full towers inside of Pugna's pocket, but the ward is going to be dropped on the middle lane. It's just going to be an all-out base race as... Well, not really a base race at this point, but just an easy tower for Dignitas. They picked up 3 towers compared to Virtus.Pro's 2. And Virtus.Pro definitely needed those tower golds, but was it worth sacrificing 3 towers? That's going to give Dignitas 3,000 extra gold, Sneyking a lot of money in the bank. AY, Shadowblade, and then some can start working on his BKB. That's almost going to give Universe his Lincoln Sphere, as there's going to be Hex onto Universe. Fogged is going to come in with the hook. If Virtus.Pro Smile and the Lion lose a lot of their gold now, that would be very unfortunate. And yes, they are going to lose a significant chunk of gold from that retreat, as Clockwork came in with the hook. So ultimately, that was not worth it from Virtus.Pro because they lost 3 towers and lost 2 heroes in the retreat. And meanwhile, Virtus.Pro, they lost 2 towers, but they're gonna be ultimately more pleased with that exchange, I imagine, as that is gonna be an Ogre Club being shipped towards the Gyrocopter. And Nature's Prophet's farm being delayed yet again. Sneyking just drawing back Dundee, saying, "This is my jungle, bitch. What are you gonna do about it? You can't do anything without Nature's Prophet here, or Pugna here. We have wards everywhere. We see you." But ars-art's going to teleport in. He wants to snipe the courier. Oh, he canceled the teleport. I think Dignitas might have recognized that teleport was incoming. But Fogged gonna have his mechanism up relatively soon. That is one advantage that Virtus.Pro do have. They have their mechanism up at a faster time, but look at Way Too Sexy. He's gonna get a pretty fast dagger if he manages to get 1 or 2 more waves. And keep in mind with the Shadow Shaman, you can just pick off Roshan so easily. Weaver, really strong scouting. Barrett, strong scouting to spot out any potential Roshan engagements. And also the Rocket Flare, one of the best scouting spells in the game. So if Dignitas feel like they have a map control advantage, which I think they do at this point, they can potentially go for Roshan, but they're lacking a bit of DPS, so it might be understandable why they're missing that. But Lincoln's going to be finished up on Universe. And how can Virtus.Pro actually kill this Weaver? I'm not too sure, as Illidan trying to get in place for an open wounds. They want to initiate, but this is going to be a bad idea. Sneyking with the invisibility rune. Swarm is going to be popped, as the rage is going to be popped. Already a significant portion of Illidan's rage time is down. They're just going to lasso him to death, as they're going to kill the ward as well. So it's going to be a 1-for-0 engagement. They have to use the lasso, but in exchange for the ward, which has a pretty long cooldown, Dignitas might be able to get some pressure on the tier 3 or potentially start going to work on the Roshan. It's never a good idea to go for Roshan against the Darkseer, but in this case, our Darkseer is only level 8. Only 2 points to the vacuum, no points to the wall. I think you can be feeling pretty secure. But Dignitas just going to back off. Going to run by the wards. Do they have a gem in the play just yet? No, it does not seem like they want to initiate the killing blow just yet, but the force staff has been finished. Smile gonna get initiated on, and he is gonna die faster than you can say. Smile for the camera.
And don't come back.
Gold heavily in favor of Virtus.Pro, and by Virtus.Pro I mean Dignitas experience, starting to climb outwards in favor of Dignitas, and Nature's Prophet really just not making an impact. Virtus.Pro's draft is quite greedy, and Xiao Shan picks up a dagger, so now they have double form initiation. They have pretty much an immortal weaver, and Nyx just struggling to get his armor going. And ladies and gentlemen, people who say lanes don't matter, it does. It matters so much in Dota, especially with the mid-game lineup. I feel like if Virtus.Pro had some mid-game DPS or early game DPS, they might be in a better shape. But right now, where's the DPS going to come from? Not going to come from ability. He's just being kited. Blast maybe, but Lion. That's pretty much it. Ion Shell's not reliable. Virtus.Pro going to try to sneak Roshan, but this is Rocket Flare going to scout out. Can Dignitas get in position? AUI is going to Shadow Blade in. AUI is so close to his BKB. Oh, but this Roshan's just a bit too slow. Colon's going to catch everybody except for Tamerlad as he pops the ward. And it's going to initiate onto AUI. Going to pop, and they're going to immediately pick up 2 kills. AUI forced to buy back. Sneyking going to go to work, but I guess he already used Firefly to clean up some creeps. Infest by Leicester trying to escape this terrible, terrible situation. Mirror's going to be dropped off or backed off by the wall. Dendi. Really nice recognition, needing that or knowing that they need the wall in that situation. Illidan trying to go to work, but Illidan not too much damage. But you can see Leicester, he don't care about him. He's gonna go to work on the Serpent Ward. So he already used Infest. He might have to back out of there. But Virtus.Pro, they already did so much work on this Roshan. But everybody on side Dignitas, bar way too sexy, is up. I think Virtus.Pro should just give up this Roshan. It's such a bad fight for them though without the wall. No, they're gonna go back into range. They're gonna force staff. Illidan ahead, he's out of mana, Rage has already expired for the most part. They pop their second ward, and they have to make use of this ward right now. This is such a tense situation. This could potentially turn the game around for Virtus.Pro, but they kill the ward. They're going to pop Collar. It's going to hit everybody this time. Mechanism is going to use, but Shadow Shaman with a clutch blanket. What a play by Way Too Sexy. If Illidan picked up, that could potentially turn the tides in favor in Virtus.Pro's favor, but Gyrocopter going to pick up Darkseer. Weaver starting to go ham on Virtus.Pro, and Way Too Sexy is going to respond, cackling to himself evilly, saying, I am too sexy for this game. Indeed you are, Way Too. Indeed you are. And Way Too gonna get punished. Maybe. Potentially not. Universe is in the picture. Ion Shell gonna be enough to pick up the Xiao Shan. Nature Spot's gonna buy back. They're gonna use the Wrath of Nature. But NS will get picked off. As Pugna's gonna buy back 2. Pretty late buybacks for the most part. But I think Virtus.Pro recognizes the fact that if they didn't buy back, they're gonna... No. They wouldn't have lost bottom lane. And actually, Dendi gonna get pushed back. The Napalm's being stacked up. Universe with an unstoppable streak. Tamerlad gonna get initiated on. They're just gonna kill the ward. And Tamerlad with the 1 parting life drain. And Universe more than happy, saying, hey, free 80 gold, I think. Or is it 100 gold? I played Pugna quite a bit. Snaking has a dagger up. And Illidan is just being so kited. Clockwork is just the ultimate thorn inside of Lifesteal, as well as the Barrier and the ward traps. There's just so many mechanisms in place. Pugna does pick off Fog, but they are going to kill Illidan. Support Clockwork. Gyrocopter kills off Smile, and I think Virtus.Pro might be in a lot of trouble, to put it bluntly.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Pugna and ars-art already used the buyback. Sneyking will get zapped as well as vacuumed. So nice coordination by the side of Virtus.Pro. They will take a lot of damage on this tower, but they are going to defend their base at the very least. They don't want to initiate without Sneyking. Or Dignitas do not want to initiate without Sneyking. AY does finish the BK, but you can see he's pretty low on mana. And no arcane boots in sight except on Way 2. So Dignitas going to back off. Overall, they have to be very pleased on how this game is going. Universe is just... There's no answer to Universe in this game. No answer whatsoever. And the goal graph speaks the story of the game. 12k advantage as we're going to see a clockwork rocket. Universe just throwing down a bit of rest and saying, I'm still here, guys. Experience and goal graph basically the same, as there's going to be a fight. AUI will get picked off. I guess he was trying to wrap around with the Shadow Blade. I don't know if there's detection. No detection. So AUI not having the best game of his life. I was thinking of fast forwarding or rewinding it, but I think I've already done that twice. But AUI gonna get picked off. That's gonna delay the push. Every pick off that Virtus.Pro is vital, because right now Lifesteal again really underfarmed. Nature's Prophet can't do too much. Starting to go for the Hex, but he's already forced to use a buyback, and at this point in the game, Nature's Prophet will just get initiated on double dagger with the Hex. Bit of improper chain stunning, but honestly it doesn't matter. They're forced to burn a bit more mana, but they're gonna go back to base anyway. No, Illidan is in the picture. They want to go on way 2. He's trying to teleport out of there. They will successfully... No! Oh man, Illidan with one last right click. One last furious swipe. It's going to be Shadow Sean being picked off. And again, every engagement is crucial, as Fog's going to go on to tame out Wild. Universe is there for the backup. Decrepify was already used. Pugna at the very least did manage to get a tower tonight. Tamalot with the full magic wand, as well as the bottle, might be able to escape. Universe trying to go to town, but the Decrepify nicely done, as he managed to max it. Tamalot is quite highly leveled, and he's really making use of that Decrepify, as the only casualty was that tower, but that's pretty significant nonetheless, because there are no more out towers in the picture. We're gonna see it teleported in by the Nature's Prophet. Fog gonna get sprouted. There's the sprout. They're trying to be out the hook, but Fogged, joke's on them, Virtus.Pro. Fog doesn't even have the hook. Trying to get some Treant blocks. The Treant's actually going to block it up, but Illidan does get the last hit with the Clutch Infest. Dendy going to fight in the wall. Universe already at below half HP. They're going to pop the Dust Appearance. Sneyking, burning everything to the ground, saying, I love the smell of napalm in the morning, noon, and night. But Universe is going to time-lapse out of there. So annoying to deal with. But the vacuum into the flame ring, a lot of mispositioning. Illidan will get lassoed up, and the wards were popped. This is time for Virtus.Pro to get back out of this, but buyback by Illidan. They see AUI saying, I hate fights. I just want to kill buildings. They don't like to fight back too hard. And AUI does clean up the top tier 3. He might forfeit his life. Pops the BKB. Gonna go back to work, trying to splash out a lot of damage onto NS. And actually, Illidan's going to keep up the pursuit. Shadow Blade will be online relatively soon, and yes, there is no detection. Nature's Prophet is still dead, but AUI, his Shadow Blade is not yet online. It's going to be cooling down rapidly. Nature's Prophet might teleport in. He does have Dust. Are they going to teleport in? He is going to teleport in, but AUI just going to teleport out of there. But Universe getting so farm can have his MKB fish, could potentially even go for a Rapier, but that would just be foolhardy. That would be foolishness. Still MKB at this point in the game. Let's check out net worths. Universe almost tripling up the lifesteal in terms of net worth, and actually Virtus.Pro, all of their heroes for the most part being doubled up in terms of net worth. This is looking very, very grim. Virtus.Pro using a lot of buybacks, saying if we don't use them now, we're gonna lose the game. But that's just delaying their item progression so very heavily. It's just looking very, very grim. At the very least, all their heroes are above level 11. So, I guess that's something. But Virtus.Pro do not want to get picked off anymore by the Sparrow. They're going to group up. But that is going to be an MKB finished up on Universe. Like I previously mentioned, Barrett is level 16, almost. So he almost has a 50-second lasso. Actually has a Smoke to Seat, as well as Boost to Travel, so he can just be very speedy on his initiations. Fogged, for the most part, playing the secondary support. Not too much items. But Dignitas might want to take the fight with this double damage and Smile getting picked off yet again. Ars-art not having too much fun in this game. There's really no opportunity. Once Dignitas gets map control, there's literally no opportunity that Nature's Prophet can sort of get back in the picture. There's just so many mechanisms to interrupt it. They are going to X Universe. They can pick up the kill here. That is a huge streak. 1,771 gold being picked up by the Nature's Prophet. Buyback by ars-art, but Illidan will get sieged down, and AUI with that double damage rune, as well as the Oh my god, that double danger with the flat can. Put in so much work. AUI popped the BKB just as a parting shot. Or parting flak, I guess. Unloaded his salvo right into the waiting face of Virtus.Pro. And you can see ars-art has had the same items for the past 10 years. That fight looked okay for Virtus.Pro. They got a huge streak up on Universe, but AUI with a double danger and just clean up shop. And he's gonna finish MKB. He's gonna go work on the top barracks. Surprised that nobody on Dignitas is gonna back him up, but they're saying only ars-art's left alive, and he really can't do too much. Gonna get the Sprout saying, "This'll show you." But AY just gonna pop the missile. Not too sure why Dignitas is not gonna group up to take the racks, as NS trying to get in position, taking a couple salvos, but got the Hex off. But NS already at around 60% HP. Nice 4-staff initiation onto Sneyking yet again, as Sneyking will perish, but they use the ward and they can't use it in the middle lane. The middle tier 3 tower will get picked off, saying, "We don't need Aegis on the split push, we can just split push by ourselves." But a nice surge forward onto NS, and man, oh man, Rasta taking a lot of damage, but ars-art just being cleaned up. Universe so mad that he lost that streak. Gonna go back to town onto Dendy. Dendy will get cleaned up. And I think this will be the beginning of the end for Virtus.Pro in this game. Fogged might get the last hit with the rocket if it cools down rapidly enough, but meanwhile the barracks are getting cleaned up. Universe just saying, "Oh my god, guys, I died. I just want to end this game." Cleaning up the barracks like an absolute chump. Because obviously the point of Dota is to farm kills, not kill buildings. But Virtus.Pro gonna lose 2 sets of barracks. Their heroes are just too far behind. GG's are called, and Dignitas take a commanding 2-series victory. As Virtus.Pro, they won the defense 3. They got 2nd place, but in the Rhythmic Dota 2 League. But not too impressive play. Keep in mind they were playing with the stand-in Dendy. And Virtus.Pro these days pride themselves on teamwork, which is such a surprise when Santa was ultimately booted. But they got ars-art. ars-art looked very sharp in defense 3 finals. But yeah, I think Virtus.Pro without their full team, not nearly as threatening. But hopefully they can get their act together. Or not really their act together, because their act is already, for the most part, together. Hopefully they can put on a better performance in G1 League, because they have the potential to go very far, I believe. But meanwhile, Dignitas has got to be feeling very happy. They've beaten Virtus.Pro yet again. And they're going to be in the DreamHack Invitational playoffs. They're going to be in the Raycall Dota 2 League playoffs. And Dignitas starting to turn things around. Glad to see it. Let's go, American Dota. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this game. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please follow me on Facebook for more updates and stuff like that. Twitter. And thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time. Have a good night.